Hello and welcome. I am YipperX5 and today we are doing a little bit of a crypto mining video. I apologize for the poor camera quality. I'm not sure what's going on. It's a cell phone camera, so bear with me until I can get an actual good camera. But right here I'm showing off what my my system's doing on Ethereum right now. GPU 0 through GPU 3 is an RX 480 4GB from Sapphire, and the GPU 04 is a RX 470 4GB from PowerColor. It's kind of interesting because the RX 470 is actually slightly faster. These are running at stock settings. They don't accept overclocks anymore, or at least it doesn't do anything other than just make the system more unstable. I know, BIOS flash, that's what everybody yells at me. I'm kind of not having a lot of luck with BIOS flashes. I've tried flashing these cards, and for some reason they just don't do anything different. I've tried flashing one of my 470s, 4GB, to a 570 4GB, and it did the same thing for about a day and then stopped working. Like, it wasn't being registered anymore. So I finally got it to register and flashed it back to its original BIOS. I always save the original BIOS, and yeah, that didn't work, and now it doesn't. The card, or the motherboard, the 6th PCIe slot died, so it was a 7-card board. It's the I don't remember. I think it's the ASRock Pro BTC Revision 2. But yeah, so this is what my my AMD cards are doing right now. And then if we'll look up here, I actually have 2 more rigs going on up here. I don't know if you can see those all too well, but yeah, there are 3 Roscrews rigs going on up here. And so we're gonna go ahead and switch to Roscrews number 2, which is one of my 1050 Ti rigs. This one I'm also experiencing problems with, and I'm using the MSI Z270 Pro Gaming motherboard because it's got 6 slots, and it was working fine with all 6 cards in it, and everything was great. And then I think risers died because I went through a lot of risers on that motherboard to try and get the 6 to work. I think I just got a really bad batch of risers. I'll find out which ones those are. This one's also mining Ethereum. These are also stock settings. And as you can see, they are doing fairly well. About 4 to 5 megahash less per card than a 480 and the 470s. And then I've got Roscrews 3 working right here, or basically Miner 3, whatever you want to call it. And he is, let's see how this one's doing. This one's got 6 1050 Ti's in it. One of those 1050 Ti's is a little sketchy. I don't know why, but it always seems like almost every line one of them does about 11 or so. This one's also been giving me some problems, but it's an interesting thing, really. So on this one that is only working with 4 cards, when I installed the operating system, its networking capabilities, the LAN connections, were not working, and I had to install the chipset, the LAN networking, and then I also installed an update on the motherboard itself so that I could do some other settings that weren't there. So then it started working fine, perfect, nothing wrong with it. This one I didn't have to do anything to. I didn't have to install a chipset. I didn't have to install, I installed my graphics drivers and some of my programs that I use, and that's about it. And as you can see, some of those programs include like Tech Power Up GPU-Z. I also had a hardware monitor tool in here. I don't know where that one went, but just got MSI Afterburner and Legacy and Miner 2 of the NiceHash versions. Oh, there's the hardware monitoring one. But yeah, and I also installed Precision XOC to see if that would work, but apparently that doesn't like anything more than 4 cards, I think. So it said too many GPUs and didn't work, and none of the cards showed up, and yeah, so not happy with that. MSI Afterburner seems to be doing pretty good. Also, on the AMD card rig, I installed MSI Afterburner on this one as well, and that almost does a better job managing power than the AMD's Wattman, which is a little weird, but I think it's also more intuitive or easy to use than Wattman, because Wattman has all the different tabs for all the different cards. You can't adjust one card and adjust all of them. You've got to adjust each individual card individually, and it's kind of a pain in the ass, honestly. But my plan is to get the other two cards working either by ordering some new risers, which the risers that I'm using in my first 1050 Ti rig and the one that I'm using in my second 1050 Ti rig are different types of risers. So I don't really know if that's the case. I think it might be. Also, the difference between these two rigs is this one has 4 graphics cards in it that require 6-pin power in addition to the power that they get from their PCI Express slots, and number 3 does not. So I'm thinking maybe that has something to do with it. Perhaps maybe the power supply using the SATA to 6 pins, I might have fried some of my risers. What I probably should have done, or what I should have done to begin with, was take the 6 PCI Express 6 pins that I had available, the 6 different plugs, and plugged into the 6 risers, and then used the adapters to go into the graphics card, because I was talking to a gentleman and he said that if the card does not go over 75 watts, it won't even pull power from that 6 pin. So I'm assuming that 6 pin up there was mainly just for like heavy overclocking if you wanted to do that, but there's not really a lot you can do with a 1050 Ti that would take it massively out of its own power spec. So at least not that I've been able to do to them, and I put some insane overclocks on them, enough to where they became so unstable that the rig wouldn't even turn on. I had to plug the card into a different rig and boot into it through safe mode and disable the graphics card so it could turn the overclocks off. Because, yeah, fun times. But anyway, I guess I could have done that on the original rig, but it was easier just to do it with one. And yeah, so that's why I don't mess with BIOS anymore. And I didn't do that with the 1050 Ti rig. I ended up using one of these overclocking tools, and I guess it saved the overclock on the operating system, so, and on the cards. So once the cards were out of it, it stopped crashing, and once the cards were in a different rig, I was able to fix those. So yeah, fun times. I don't really know why or how that happened, but that is what it is. Maybe I'm just really dumb, but it's okay. I'm learning. It's a fun experience, guys. So today, you want to see some numbers. So today, I'm going to show you some numbers. So here is our dwarf pool that we're mining at right now. So it's pretty cool. As you can see, it's been kind of off and on. I've been switching between dwarf pool and NiceHash to try and see what different algorithms the cards are at. And I found that NiceHash is just kind of unstable. So I have this computer that I'm showing you all this on. This is my desktop computer. And yay, rat's nest. Not really, it's not that bad. Kind of folded all the codes over and moved everything out. But yeah, that's a 1060 in there, 6 GB. It does okay. I guess I'll show you guys some numbers in a different video. But right here, we are showing that yeah, these cents and these calculateds don't really make a lot of sense. I don't really understand how it can be sending 83 but calculating at 101. I'm just gonna assume that they are correct in their calculations because I did some rough numbers, and yeah, I'm getting paid about the right amount. But yeah, so essentially with these rigs, I'm gonna say I'm getting about 0.022 to 0.025 Ethereum a day, which is not bad. It's not a huge amount, but it's not bad, and it helps, you know, a little bit here and there on the dwarf pool and the Ethereum. I make a bit more mining through NiceHash, but here lately I've been running into some issues with them as for stability, because sometimes they won't even count my computer's shares for an entire day or two, so I'm gonna have to get that situated. Also, apparently there was some kind of issue with Claymore's dual Ethereum miner 10 point something to 10.5, or maybe it's just up to 10.5. There's some kind of issue that they addressed, and I guess we should update to 10.6 to get that out. I don't remember exactly what the issue was. Fixed a critical issue in remote management feature. Attacker could crash miner even in read-only mode. Okay, so if you're getting attacked and your miner keeps crashing, then this should be what should help fix it. I guess. I don't really have any attackers, but I'm just a small guy. So, you know, fun times. Anyway, so here's, as you can see, we're getting some payouts. This is kind of sporadic mining. I'm going to let it mine for the next few months or maybe even weeks on its own. It's set to pay out every 0.5 Ethereum, or 0.05 Ethereum I get. I might actually change that to 0.1. Just to kind of reduce on fees and whatnot, and that should be about every week or so, every 4 days, 4 to 5 days, depending on how it goes and everything. But with Bitcoin, when I was getting paid in Bitcoin through NiceHash, I was making 0.002. No. Yeah, 0.002, I think, Bitcoin a day. It was like 24, 25 bucks with all the rigs working, including my, I think it was like 29, including my desktop with it, CPU mining and GPU mining, a day on NiceHash. I will actually pause this really quick and be back with some NiceHash values. Okay, we got NiceHash booted up. We're using the legacy miner on the AMD rig. At the moment, we have 2 of the 480s on Dagger and Decred. We have 1 of the 480s on Skunk, and the 480 and the 470 on Dagger straight up. The reason that it's doing this is because I had to go in and change some of my settings because some of my cards stopped mining Dagger, and then also some of them don't mine Equihash very well. Along with 2 of them are the only ones that I have left in that rig that like Dagger and Pascal, for example. So I had to go in and modify what they were actually allowed to mine, just so I could keep the rig stable. Otherwise, these boxes kept closing and they weren't making any money. So just this rig right here is making about 7 a day, give or take. That will ramp up to about 8 or 9, give or take, depending on how it's working. I might do a full system restore on this one, and what I mean by that is not an actual restore, but like wipe the hard drive and reinstall Windows, reinstall all the drivers, and just start absolutely fresh on this rig, and maybe I can situate that out. And that will probably happen within the next day or two. And I will do the same with Rosgreaves number 2. So this is one AMD rig, doing okay, making about $7 a day. Good job. We've got rig number 2 here. This is the 4-card rig. No, this is a 4-card rig. And so right now we have one of the GPUs mining Dagger and Decred. One of them is working on Equihash, and that's an actually really slow number for it. Usually it's at 170. If I mine just straight Equihash on these, they get 170 a pop. And we have 3 and 4 working on just straight Dagger, which is good. You know, this one's making about 370 a day, so that's not too bad. And then this one right here is also using the legacy miner, because if I try to open miner 2, I just get a white screen, nothing happens. I've let it sit there overnight and nothing happened, so it's upsetting. This one's making about 638, 635, 634, somewhere in the neighborhood. You know, not too bad. About $6.33 per day. That's pretty good. We'll considering how much it is. So A full 1060 rig, it cost about a dollar something a day in electricity for me. The way my rates are, like $1.60, $1.70 a day. This one's burning about $1 per day with the 4 cards in it, and this one right here burns about $2 per day in electricity. So we've got 5 from this guy, we've got 270 from this guy, and we've got, I'll give it 480 per day roughly is what it's doing. I don't know, about $5 per day, maybe a little bit more. So yeah, that's pretty solid. But this is another reason that NiceHash has been upsetting me, is because when I first started, not too long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, this was making like $13, $14 a day with all the stuff it was mining. But like, I don't know if it's because they're contractually based or anything like that, and so like basically I'm just filling out people's cloud mining services, which I get that, and from a profitability standpoint, I mean, it's a pretty regular income, but it's been going down a lot because people are really interested in Dagger and I guess Equihash. So like Ethereum and Zcash basically have been going kind of crazy, going up and down, and mostly down here lately. So I mean, in all honesty, this is okay. I'm not really sure what we're going to be making per day. NiceHash hasn't completely updated just yet, but I guess we will go check it really quick. This is my last refresh. Let's go ahead and refresh it again. So yeah, it's saying we're making about 17 bucks a day. That's also with this computer running. Right now it's running a benchmark because I just had to update this version. This is my desktop. So once that comes in, I think this one makes about $4 a day, burns about $1 worth of electricity, so this one makes about $3 a day. So I mean, that's not too bad. The projected payouts and all that are all going to be schnazzled, just simply because of this, the way they are. So these are all my holdings that I had over here from when I last stopped, or when I last mined, which was, I guess not too long ago. Yeah, I slowly started losing GPU power. Everything was kind of going down and down if you look over the week spread. And that's when I realized NiceHash was starting to screw up and bug out a little bit. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, like, I can only usually get about 3 or 4 days out of them before something happens to either the rigs just keep restarting or what, you know. It's just, it's a headache sometimes, I'm telling you guys. This crypto mining thing is, it's fun, but it's if you're not like super tech savvy, then you run into a lot of problems like I do. And when you run into a lot of problems like I do, and you don't really have a huge amount of time to sit here and fiddle with them all the time, so you just get to play with them on your spare time. I mean, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's rewarding when you see those coins come in and you hold on to them for a little bit and they go up in price, and then boom, there you go. You just made your ROI in, like, you know, couple months or whatever. And you know, just standard wise though, I think these rigs should take about 4 to 5 months for ROI if the prices were stable and if their speeds were stable. Interestingly enough, I just had from all the Ethereum I mined from Rosgrees 1 right here, basically day 1 since I got him, all he was mining was Ethereum, and I'd been saving that all up. And right when Ethereum hit about $1,200, I sold quite a bit of it and made a lot of money back from this rig, in addition to making enough to build 2 more 6-card rigs to supplement what was going on. You know, because like, I guess it's changing what it's mining. Something is going on. I guess maybe Skunk crashed and now it's retrying. No, it's mining. I know what this is. This is on this computer, because we are mining 2 coins on this guy now. Okay, so this one, as of right now, says it's making about 214 a day. Those speeds will slowly ramp up a little bit to where they're supposed to be at. This one likes to mine Neoscript, and it's kind of interesting because it does okay mining Neoscript. I have to say, a 1066 gigabyte seems to do okay. 714 kilohashes. That's it's not too bad. Not too bad to say. It's so yeah, basically here's what's going on. with crypto in the world of the Yipper. And I will get a better camera eventually, I promise. It just might not be today. It might not be next time, but it will happen very soon. I just need to figure out which one I want. See there, we got our prices to change a little bit. Oh, hey, look, it says we're making about $4 more per month. Yes, for updates. But yeah, so I'll leave these running, and we'll see how that goes. I'll actually switch them back over to Ethereum. I just wanted to show you guys what the estimated profitability at the moment with 17 cards and an 8-core CPU would be like. It's not spectacular. It's about $1 per card, nearly, not quite. If I can get them tuned to where I need them to be, like I said, I'm gonna stick with Ethereum, I think, for a while. I might switch one of the rigs over to Zcash and leave the other two mining Ethereum, because I kind of like where Zcash is. I might actually mine Zclassic, because I guess Zclassic is a dev fee free version of Zcash, basically. It's just not quite moving or doing anything that I've noticed. It doesn't seem to be. I don't hear a lot about it. I hear more about Ethereum and Litecoin and Bitcoin. So I'm guessing I might stick with the ones that at the moment are very popular, because I'm kind of going with a mine to hold strategy for now. Because as I was selling stuff off, and as I got it, I realized when I first got my rig, I mined 23 Ethereum, and I sold them every single day that I got them, and this was all sub $200, right? So if I'd held on to that 23 Ethereum and sold it when it hit $1,000, that'd be $23,000 that I could have had. So like, I mean, yeah, from like a hindsight of 2020 type of view, yeah, stuff like that's serious. So if you see a coin, and I saw Ethereum, and I thought Ethereum is going to be kind of big. It's got a nice network. The white paper looks good. It's going to do some things, and it's not just a coin. It's actually going to do something other than just be a coin. Kind of like how Bitcoin was sort of just a currency at first, and now it's sort of turned into this giant. I mean, it's not necessarily a super different technology. It's just, it's actually showing its age already, and it's only been around since 2009. So I mean, here we are 9 years later, and Bitcoin's already starting to show its age by slower transactions, higher fees, all this good stuff. So maybe it's time for keep your eyes open for what you think will be good, that goes with your beliefs, and what you think will be a good coin. And I like to mine to hold now, and I just realized my efficiency wasn't at 100%. The cred. Why do you do this? Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna hold some Bitcoin and hang on to that, because Bitcoin's good. It's kind of like getting to the point of now cash. It's good to have some Bitcoin on hand. It's good to have it. It's good to know that you have some Bitcoin and you can do some things with it. Like you can donate it to people, or you can hold on to it and just have some Bitcoin to use later on, or even convert it to different currencies using things like, I guess Coinbase. There's tons of different crypto-based cards out there to where you can link your accounts to them, and you could pay for stuff every day, and it'll pay it with a fiat currency, but it'll sell some of your currency or whatever right then and there, and at that time. So I mean, crypto is interesting. I think it can go places, and it's showing that the blockchain technology is good. So I know this has been a really, really long video, and I usually try not to do long videos like this, and I ranted a little bit. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I hope you keep your hash rates high and keep your temperatures down. This is Yipper X5 signing out.